what Alexandra Eala will do at the Australian Open in 2026 for the very first time. After enjoying a stellar year on the WTA Tour, Alexandra Eala will look to carry her excellent form into 2026. The Filipina, 20, first became a known quantity on the tour when she defeated Madison Keys and Iga Swiatek on her way to the Miami Open semifinals. In September, Eala won her first WTA title in Guadalajara. By doing so, Eala became the first Filipino to achieve this milestone. Her excellent season continued to roll on, and she later became the first Filipina to break into the WTA Top 50. This month, Eala continued to shine, becoming the first Filipina since 1999 to win the women's singles event at the Southeast Asian Games. After achieving success in Asia, Coco Gauff and Victoria Mboko congratulated the 20-year-old, as did a Filipino sporting legend. Eala remains one of the best young singles players on the WTA Tour, and she is set to play in her first Australian Open main draw in January. Alexandra Eala is set to play doubles at the Australian Open as a professional player for the first time in her career. A number of well-known players from the WTA Tour can be found on the entry list for the Australian Open Women's Doubles Tournament, which was released publicly on Tuesday. One of those players is Alexandra Eala, who is set to compete in the Australian Open Women's Doubles Tournament for the first time in her career. Eala is paired with Brazilian player Ingrid Martins. At 29 years old, Martins has won 4 ITF singles titles. In doubles, the Brazilian has won 2 WTA Tour titles, the 2023 Bad Homburg Open and the 2024 Merida Open. Martins has also won 4 doubles titles at the WTA Challenger level and 11 ITF doubles titles. As for Eala, she has a history of success in doubles. As a junior player, she won 2 Grand Slam doubles titles, the 2020 Australian Open and the 2021 French Open. As a professional, Eala has played doubles events at 2 Grand Slam tournaments. Eala reached the second round of the 2025 French Open Women's Doubles Tournament. A month later, she lost in the first round at Wimbledon. Victoria Mboko is set to play with an American star. Victoria Mboko is another young star who has enjoyed a breakout year on the WTA Tour, winning her maiden WTA Tour title at the Canadian Open. In 2026, the Canadian is set to kick things off in Australia by playing alongside Iva Jovic in the Australian Open Women's Doubles event. Jovic is another young American star who has rapidly climbed the WTA ranks over the past year. Alexandra Eala at the Australian Open 2026, a dream unfolding. The sun had just begun its rise over Melbourne Park when Alexandra Eala stepped onto the blue courts of the Australian Open for the very first time. It wasn't merely her debut. It was a moment years in the making. For the 18-year-old Filipino sensation, it was the culmination of dreams, sacrifices, and unrelenting determination. She wasn't just another player in a 128-strong draw. Alexandra carried with her the hopes of a nation, the pride of Southeast Asia, and a quiet yet unwavering belief that she belonged among the greatest. Chapter 1: Dawn of a New Stage. The first morning of the tournament was crisp, the atmosphere electric, with the hum of anticipation. Melbourne Park pulsed with a chorus of languages, flags, and dreams. But one thing was unmistakable: the collective gaze of fans from Manila to Mindanao, from shards of sand in the Middle East to the courtside seats in Grand Slam stadiums, all watched Alexandra. She walked onto Court 3, racket slung over her back, heart steady but alight with excitement. Her first-round opponent was a seasoned top 50 player, a formidable challenge on paper, yet Alexandra approached it with poise beyond her years. In the first set, her footwork was poetry. She danced along the baseline, redirecting powerful serves, threading passing shots with surgical precision. At one point, a cross-court forehand that clipped the line earned her a momentary gasp from the crowd, followed by thunderous applause. When she clinched the set 6-4, it was not merely a statistical win, it was a statement. The second set saw Alexandra's tactical brilliance. She mixed slices with deep backhands, approached the net with uncanny timing, and when she delivered that final ace, a blistering serve down the tee, the scoreboard lit up. 6-4, 6-3. Melbourne had seen a debut, but not one like this. Chapter 2. Surprises and Standing Ovations. As the tournament progressed, Alexandra began drawing global attention. In the second round, she faced a top 20 seed known for relentless baseline power. Analysts predicted a tough match, but Alexandra played beyond prediction. The first set was tight. Each rally tested her stamina and tactical awareness. At 4-4 in the breaker, the energy was electric. With a deep breath and a fierce backhand winner, she seized the crucial point. Then another. Soon she stood victorious, a young player who had just taken a set from one of the sport's elite. What followed was a storybook turnaround. Alexandra's opponent faltered under pressure. Alexandra's confidence grew with every passing game. She finished the match in straight sets, a breathtaking performance that sent ripples through the tennis world. Courtside, fans chanted her name. A new star wasn't just rising, she was shining. Chapter 3. Into the limelight. Reaching the third round, and then the fourth, Alexandra found herself facing adversity, fatigue, media attention, and the weight of expectation. Yet she handled it all with humility. She recalled her early morning practices in Manila, hitting balls in sweltering heat, training before school, chasing perfection. She thought of family, coaches, friends, anchors that kept her grounded. In the fourth round, she faced a former Grand Slam semifinalist. It was a match that demanded every ounce of grit she possessed. The rallies were epic. Some lasted over a dozen shots, each a test of will. At match point, with fans rising to their feet, Alexandra struck a blistering cross-court forehand that earned her victory. For the first time in her young career, she would reach the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam. It was historic, not just for her, but for Filipino tennis. Chapter 4. Quarterfinal Bravery. The quarterfinal match was set under the lights of a packed arena. The opponent, a seasoned champion with multiple Grand Slam finals appearances. Few gave Alexandra the edge. But if she had surprised the world once, she could do it again. The first set was a battle. Every point was contested with fierce athleticism and sharp strategy. Alexandra's serve was crisp, her returns aggressive yet measured. When she finally took the set 7-5, the crowd erupted. Though she eventually fell in 3 sets, the final score hardly measured the magnitude of her performance. She left the court to a standing ovation that echoed long after she stepped into the tunnel. Conversations erupted across press rooms, podcasts, and social media.